You know, they say all men are created equal. No, I'm kidding. We need a one-on-one. Okay. But anyway, they've been playing that all week, getting ready for Sacrifice, which is what we're about to review. Sacrifice 2021. Welcome into the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that always, and I mean always, an instant classic. Haven't said that in a while, but it's back. It's back for this show only, exclusively.
You said Dak is back.
Dak is back. He got signed, so that's another one.
He got signed.
That's another one. That's another one. But definitely excited to talk about this show. I got a lot to say. I feel like I don't know. I'll probably say nothing at the end of the day, but I got a lot to talk about. I feel like at least, but. Overall thoughts on the show in terms of Sacrifice. Oh, welcome in, Justin. What's up? What's up? How you doing?
I'm doing great. Yeah.
I keep losing my drink every time I look over. Okay, I found it. But DJ here, Justin, over there. And we're gonna talk about this Impact Wrestling Sacrifice show. Let's get into overall thoughts real quick. Overall, I thought this was really good, and I have been kind of all over the place with Impact and feeling some type of way about Impact and feeling like there's been something missing. And I mean, the only thing that's changed is what? The commentary team? Like, that's it. That's the only thing that's changed. But I feel like, and like, I am not a Josh Matthews hater by any means. I know everybody's like, I hate Josh Matthews. He sucks. Blah, blah. And I understand because Josh Matthews comes off a little bit like Michael Cole in a way, like a little bit like everything he says is too scripted. It's too for the company. There's no creativity in it. There's no like, oh, let's add that little bit in. Like I feel like Stryker especially has a way of kind of like getting you interested in what he's saying. Like, because
and also he was a former wrestler. You know, he's been in the ring before, right. And he actually knows what moves to call. And so is D'Lo Brown. You know, he's been in the ring before also.
D'Lo is not my favorite.
He's not your favorite?
He's not my favorite at all. I love D'Lo as a wrestler, as a character, but as a and it could be like, I don't know how many times he's done commentary, but some of the stuff he says is just completely generic, or like it feels like he's treating me like I'm five. And sometimes that's good. But like, I don't know, one of the perfect commentators that was able to do that for me, like treat me like I'm five, like analyze the moves like that, was Taz. That's the only one I could listen to that like he would like tell you why a headlock was in the way a headlock was in, and you were like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. But like, for some reason, D'Lo, I like him, and maybe it'll grow on me, but I think it could be a little inexperienced. I don't know, but like he comes off like he's trying to like, this is wrestling, and this is how wrestling works, and I'm like I got that, D'Lo.
Well, of
like,
course we know that. Yeah,
like dive into it a little bit more. I don't know. It's weird to me. Like I like the new commentary team. I think it's definitely took Impact to another level in terms of me watching the matches. I don't know if it's the crowd noise. I don't know, and they've added that too. But I don't know if it's the crowd noise. I think it's the commentary team because, I don't think we realize how important the commentary and the fans in tandem helped out with a match. But listening to Sacrifice, like watching Sacrifice, made me like there was something about it that I was like excited to watch everything on it. And albeit I've been watching most of the shows for Impact leading up to it, so I've been excited about pretty much everything going on, and I have some things that I have some gripes with, and we'll talk about it a little bit later. But I mean, overall, I thought this show just got me excited. Like it like there was something about this show that was different from the previous pay-per-view we had and the previous special that we had. I can't think of the names in order.
I think No Surrender, and then the one before that. Yeah, No Surrender was in February, and then I think was it Genesis in January, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, because this to me felt like it may have been the best pay-per-view they've had in like a year, like since the pandemic started. It just, there was, I don't know what it was. I can't describe it, but there was something about it that just was different. It felt more lively. It felt more, maybe more polished. It felt more like it just felt more exciting. Like I think I have to give credit to the commentary team on that. I think because I think it was the commentary team that made me feel like, okay, I can really get excited into this. There were certain things in storylines that I didn't understand that if the commentary team didn't continue to rail on them, I probably wouldn't have. I would have been like, why is this happening? And like that's important because under the previous regime of commentators, especially with Josh Matthews, it felt like all right, Josh, you got to say it's boss time. Like it felt like that. Of course, that's Michael.
It's boss
you know what
time.
I'm saying? Like it's like, okay, she's getting on the announce table. Michael, it's your time. All right, it's boss. It just didn't. It felt like it was too much. I don't know. There was something too scripted. Something about it just felt like it was. There was promotion that didn't meet
too many people. There. Too many people in their ear.
Maybe I don't know. Like because like this, like I said, I've always liked Stryker. And he comes off like a nerd, and maybe that's why I like him too. But like, I've always liked Stryker because
I mean, he was a teacher. He was.
Maybe that's why. I don't know. He just like I'm not gonna say he's like the greatest commentator I've ever heard in my life, but like he can get you excited and get you interested in what you're watching. And I don't know what I can't even explain why. Like there's things that Matt Stryker says that nobody else would ever say ever, and I guess I like that. But overall, like I said, I think this is one of the best shows of Impact's previous 12 months. Since the pandemic started, I think this is the best show I've seen from them. Every match felt like it had a good flow to it. Like I don't know what it was about this show. I just went back and watched some of the matches that I felt like I missed. It just felt like the matches had a good flow. There wasn't a lot of like mistiming, misplacement. Like there wasn't a lot of things that just felt out of place. That just like even like the flow of the matches felt like they were smooth. Like it felt, I don't know if it felt old school to me, but like it felt like it was just like everything was going as it needed to go. There wasn't these weird things that typically happen or weird pauses or weird miscommunications. Not that Impact has a whole lot of that, but like you see it a lot in wrestling, this weird, like it's not all there completely. But overall, like I said, best show of the year for Impact. Thought and not 2021, but the previous 12 months. But overall thoughts, Justin, on Sacrifice before we jump into it.
You know, going into the show, I really wasn't expecting like a whole lot of it because sometimes these Impact specials, sometimes they feel like this glorified Impact just with a name on, Sacrifice or insert another name like No Surrender. Sometimes they just feel like glorified Impacts. With a whole bunch of matches on it, with some title matches on it. Which this show, I definitely agree with DJ. I don't know what it was, but this show felt different. I was actually getting excited for the show. I mean, last night, yeah, there were some hiccups with the show, kind of having like the whole live stream, which, with having, their network and stuff, it's hard for the company that doesn't put on a whole bunch of live shows a year. Yeah. So they have to kind of get around these. I kind of know. It feels like every single special or pay-per-view I watch, they have some type of technical difficulty.
There's something every time. Every time there is something because I feel the same way, Justin. And coming from the production field that I'm in, I understand that nothing ever goes as planned even when you plan it out to a T. But like, yeah, it is weird. I'm not sure why.
I mean, their shows are recorded in advance and stuff like these. These specials are. I'm not sure. What's that?
I don't know. Like they need to have, because I mean, I'm not as familiar. I'm only familiar with Impact Plus when I'm watching the pay-per-views, like the live pay-per-views. But like maybe, and I know they have the little live feed that they use, and I always thought it was just a feed from Pluto TV, the live feed that anybody can watch. With just old matches and stuff like that on it. But like maybe they need to have like a monthly or even a weekly something, right? Like just to work the kinks out, because sometimes if you're not used to going live and you're only going live once a month, things can crash because they're not being used as much as they should be or as much as they're accustomed to being used. So I think that has a lot to do with it.
And there was something else I was going to say about that. Oh yeah, and also with the network whole thing. I mean, yeah, it is kind of buggy a little bit, like trying to watch some shows sometimes, or like, yeah, you try to go back and watch a show, and it takes a while. Like it doesn't even show up sometimes. Like, I mean, they're still new with this whole network stuff, and like you said, going live once a month, like things do crash when not using it for a while. But other than that, I thought the show was pretty good. And there's still things that I gripe about with Impact. With not having a crowd still. Like, why don't they bring out like what they do with AEW? Have some of the roster out there.
I just wish they would explain it.
Yeah.
That like I'm completely fine with not having a crowd if you don't feel like it's safe, but like tell us that. Like tell us that so we're not always asking for it, because there's some stuff that we don't understand that we want to know and we feel like we know, but we just don't. So like tell me like, okay, this is a small arena, social distancing isn't really possible. Whatever you got to say, but let us know. So because like there has to be like I think it was, and I can't remember what match it was, but I guess we'll get to it when we get into it. But there was a match I was watching, and I was like, thank you for using like their Twitter personality against their in-ring personality, because people don't do that a lot. And I can't remember what match it was, and they'll probably come to me at some point. But like that needs to be done. And like this is the same thing. Like tell us, like you can tell us why. Like you can tell us why you don't feel like you're ready to have a crowd out there. Why are we hearing crowd noise instead of like, it doesn't always have to be like behind the curtain, I guess. It's the best way to put it.
And another gripe I kind of have about the show is I feel like, I don't know, and this isn't just TNA, or this Impact. I feel like this show that I was like noticing like a whole bunch of camera different angles, like they flip to different cameras like really quick. I go like, quit switching camera angles so much. And Impact, they always have done that. They always have done like weird like angles, like where they come up, over the ring and stuff. It's kind of weird sometimes. Like I really noticed it in this show a lot. Like how they, and also I hate the way they kind of like point the camera towards the stage. I wish it was like how. And that's how, AEW does a lot of their stuff now also. But I don't know. That's a little gripe I have. I don't like how they have some of their setup still. But that's basically the only gripes I have about that right now.
Okay. I'm trying to think that I have anything else to say. Oh, real quick, while we're on it. As always, if you want to listen to us, you can. They're all on the bottom of the screen. I put them there. But if you are listening to us and you're like, hey, I want to watch you guys. You guys are weird. I want to see what you look like. Well, okay. You can go to Facebook or YouTube for that. But if you're watching this, you can go to Anchor, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Snapple Podcasts.
Ankle Podcast.
For joke's sake. Ankle Podcast for joke's sake. But, but I mean, I try to post pretty much especially all of the discussions and reviews on there. Of course, the watch along, we kind of make those Facebook exclusive. So if you want something that's kind of exclusive to Facebook, you got that. But nonetheless, let's jump into it, I guess. I'm trying to think of what the first freaking match was.
Decay and Reno Scum.
That's right. Okay. Decay versus Reno Scum, which I thought was good. I like using Black Taurus and Crazy Steve as a tag team. I think that's cool. I like Decay because it gives Rosemary something to do without always having to go for the title. I love that, and she's perfect in that role. I think she's perfect in that kind of manager type role to give her a little bit of rest, give her body, and that's a perfect thing that she can do too, to give people's bodies a little bit of rest. Is like make them managers for a couple weeks or something and give them that chance. And I guess they're trying to figure out what to do with her since Taya left, because that was kind of her main. It was her main storyline was with Taya or involved, within Taya. So they got to find something else. And of course, Decay came back off of that. I love Black Taurus. I like the way he moves in the ring. Like I said, this was another one of those matches where I felt like it was going to be kind of iffy. Like it was going to kind of just be like, oh, that's cool. But I mean, I thought it was really good. Like the flow was good. Black Taurus does a lot of stuff that I feel like shouldn't be done in terms of like how big he is. He does some really cool stuff, I feel like, and I like Crazy Steve's style. I like the way he is, I think, and he fits Decay almost to a T perfectly. He fits a faction like that perfectly. That and the menagerie and stuff like that. He just, I think he does some of his best work when he's with other people. I think he just adds that little kind of it element to it. But I mean, I thought it was good. The K won, right?
Yeah, the K did win. Yeah,
and I think it's a good way to introduce Black Taurus without throwing him into a title picture or something like that. Adds another tag team to the fray as well, and I think that's good. I think that's an excellent way of doing it. I want to see whenever Su Yung comes back, I want to see her and Rosemary tag team. I think their characters can play very well off of each other, especially now that Su Young's character in Impact is more developed. I think that would be really good, really nice to see. We Rosemary and them go after the Impact tag team titles, the women's tag team titles. I mean, they go after men's if they want to. Whatever they want.
They love doing those intergender tag team matches over here. I mean, intergender matches over here in Impact.
Right. But what were your thoughts on?
I thought the match was pretty good. I mean, kind of, at the beginning, I thought this match was kind of just going to be like a normal Impact match, but it was actually pretty good. I enjoyed it. I mean, it was good that the right team went over here. I'm not the biggest fan of Reno Scum with Luster Legend and what's his name, Adam Thorstar. I never been biggest.
They lost some steam. Like I remember when they were in Impact and when we were doing the reviews. When they were in Impact, bruh, like the first time, they were awesome. Like I was like, push them. And then they left. And like, I don't know what happened when they brought them back, but they just weren't the same thing that I was expecting when they brought them back. I appreciate that, man. Thanks for coming by. Like, I appreciate it. Of course, we both appreciate all of us,
but yeah, I don't know. I just don't really. I don't feel them. I don't really like Reno Scum that much. I don't know what it is about them. I just don't find them. What's the word I'm trying to say? I just don't like them that much. That's all I'm going to say about that. But yeah, it was a fine matchup. But I mean, both teams worked really well together, and I like having Rosemary as like you said, as the manager and stuff, because it lets her take a little time off. Lets her heal up a little bit, and having Crazy Steve, Rosemary, it's like the old Decay a little bit, minus Abyss and stuff.
Yeah, but Abyss was great in Decay too.
True.
Because that's when he was beautiful, right? Yes.
Yes. I freaking love that. Now, if we can only get Abyss back, but he's over there and working backstage with WWE now, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So,
pretty sure.
Yeah, but no, it was a fine match. Good way to open the show. Yeah, it's a good match.
Jumping into Tennille Dashwood and Caleb with a K versus Havoc and Nevaeh. Speaking of intergender type matches, I love Caleb with a K and Tennille. They're perfect. It feels like, and I don't know how you feel about Tennille's character right now, but like at first, like it felt like we were gonna get like really serious Emma. Like when she turned heel and she, it's all about me, Emma. But like I like this like mix of serious Emma and like goofy, like Emma. Like I like the Emma that we're used to seeing. You know what I'm saying? That Emma that got over in NXT that was just goofy and wacky and wild. Like I like the mix of it because you see it in like especially her backstage stuff. You see kind of that like goofy, funny Emma, but at the same time she has that like serious demeanor too, and I like it. I think it adds to the character a little bit because I mean the Emma-lution definitely got over in NXT, and then the WWE botched it on the main roster. So, but I mean, I thought this match was like. And this is what I'm talking about when I talk about Impact and what makes me want to say that Impact, like if I watched Impact consistently, I'd probably say they're the best weekly show to me because it's not hard to watch. And even like the funny stuff and the jokey stuff, like for some reason, like reels me in. Because like this, like Caleb with a K is like and Tennille is like the goofiest thing you'll probably watch. But like it's not bad goofy. It's not like turn the TV, goofy. It's like it's a good, fun, nice balance of funny, but you can still take him seriously. Like it's not Otis goof. Sorry, Otis. But anyway, but I just like it, and like even with this match, like with Havoc and Nevaeh, it was good, and I think they're setting up a Havoc and Nevaeh breakup. It looks like because they lose all the time, and they're getting closer and closer to losing. But like, because I feel like if you're going to put Havoc and Nevaeh over, have them pin Caleb with a K, because that doesn't hurt Tenille at all, and Caleb's just kind of in the comedy, funny assistant role.
He's the goof.
Yeah, he's the goof.
He's the goof of the bunch.
But I mean, I thought it was a pretty good match. I mean, I thought it had its funny moments. I didn't think the flow was bad. It didn't get awkward when Caleb with a K came in the match or anything like that. I mean, I thought it was good. What was your thoughts?
Yeah, I thought the match was pretty good. I thought that, it seems like when Tenille Dashwood, when she's always tagging up with somebody else, she always loses. But here, she's actually tagging up with her, manager, Caleb with the K. Which she actually pulled out the win here, which I was quite surprised about, which I hope they eventually start pushing her towards the Knockouts Championship, because she could be a great Knockouts champion. Like, and her, she could have a great match with Deonna Purrazzo. I would love to see that. But I'm kind of confused with like this rivalry here, like the way this storyline's going, like because she was trying to break up, she was trying to get Havoc, to join her, and then Havoc and Nevaeh, they're trying to get out on the same page, and it's kind of still looks like they're going to break up, but don't know where like Tenille stands in with this whole rivalry here. So I'm kind of confused on that side a little bit with this match, but the match was fine. I mean, Caleb with the K, I mean, yeah, like you said, it wasn't really awkward when he was getting into the ring, when he was actually squaring off with Havoc and Nevaeh. I mean, he did get beat up by them a lot, but, that's Caleb, because he doesn't have... I mean, but the moves that he was doing, he is actually pretty good in the ring, for the stuff that he was doing. You know what? We need a Caleb with a K versus Casey. We need a Caleb with a K and Casey match. It's CR O'Malley.
We need a Caleb with a K versus Casey with a C. Yeah,
Casey with a C. CR O'Malley. Yes, we need that. Book that. No, but the match is fine though.
All right. Violent by Design, which was Diener and Joe Doring, which was a nice change from usually Eric Young is very involved in this, but with Diener getting a more prominent role and Joe not just standing around in the background now, it's kind of cool to see this pairing going up against Chris Sabin and James Storm. I enjoyed this match too. It had a little bit of interference in it. Like I said before, like this is the perfect way to build up Diener or something, I mean, and not as Jake something, or not as Cody something, but build up Diener as, a real threat to something, the mid-card title, even as a tag team or something like that, like, just like builds him up as a guy that has some credibility, for lack of a better term. And I mean, I think they're doing a good job with it. They haven't really done as great of a job of explaining Violent by Design, but I think that's good. And it could be, for lack of a better term, by design to show us, to kind of like give us something to try to figure out ourselves. Because I mean, I like Violent by Design, but I don't know their purpose. I don't know what are they trying to do? Why are they recruiting all these people? And how are they recruiting everybody that it seems like they screw over? Like why is this happening? Because of course, at the end of the match, Rhino came in and he turned, and they had attacked Rhino because he was talking to Slater, and that could be because they don't have anything to do with Rhino right now, and they couldn't just. I mean, I guess they could have just wrote him off TV, but you got him under contract. Why not? And with Slater being hurt, maybe the injury is a little bit more serious than maybe we thought it was going to be, or maybe they thought it was going to be. So they turned him and had him join forces with Violent by Design. But, I mean, I don't think it's a bad thing. I wonder, is he going to shave his head? I don't think his hair will ever grow back if he does, because I don't think he's ever shaved his head. But, I mean, I like it. It gives him another veteran presence in there. To to kind of do his thing, and Rhino's a brute as is, so I think that adds to it. I'm excited. I'm excited to see what Rhino adds to the group, and kind of what happens with EY, Joe Doring, and everybody, because I think Joe Doring has definitely grown on me. Of course, EY has always been great. You wonder what he's gonna do. You wonder what's their next kind of path, of destruction. All of that, like, what are they gonna do? So I'm curious, but I mean, I thought this was it was a good match, and I think it had a good little turn at the end. And I think Rhino did an excellent job with his gore, because there was somebody on the apron, and he went to hit them off the ropes, and that's how he hit the ropes for his gore. Like,
I think it was. Oh man, who was
Jake something? Was it Jake something?
I think it might have been Jake something on the apron.
But like, thank you. Thank you. That's what. Like that's what needs to happen. Like that was an excellent way, and I'd already seen it, because I watched the match. So when I watched it again, watching him go and try to hit Jake off the ropes and then bounce off the ropes and hit the gore, that was freaking all. Rhino may have the greatest spear of all time. Nobody gives Rhino his credit.
It looks like he was going to go after Violent by Design, because
it
looks like he was going to help out Saban and Storm.
I think it was EY or something. It wasn't Jake something. I'm thinking about the turn. It was like EY or something.
And then he speared Chris Sabin.
Yeah. You're right. And I thought that was good. That was that the way they set that up was awesome. And I haven't seen a turn like that where like you could and I'm not saying you couldn't see it coming, because I already saw it, but I don't know. When you watched it, did it look like he was really, like, it felt to me like he was really going after Violent by Design and not the other way around. He just kind of turned it around, which I thought was cool. So that was good. I want to see what they're going to do with it, because I like Violent by Design. I want a little bit more explanation. I want to know a little bit more about them. But I mean, that's still a good thing, because I mean, if you're to the point where you know everything, there's no point of watching them anymore, is it? So I mean, I think it's good. But Justin, what were your thoughts on the Violent by Design versus Saban and Storm match?
Yeah, I thought the match was good. Both teams worked, really well together. James Storm and Chris Sabin, the veterans in this match, and you had more of, Cody Diener, or Cody, not Diener, Cody and Joe Doring, they were kind of like the newer guys here and stuff. So I mean, both teams worked really well together, especially towards the end. When a whole bunch of stuff was breaking down, you saw Jake something and Eric Young going at it. It was just a whole bunch of crazy mess at the end there, and especially like DJ said, with Rhino coming out. I did not see this coming at all, because he just got a few months ago. He got beaten up by Violent by Design, and he joined them. I want to get an explanation. Like, why did he join him? Like, why is he? They go like, hey, you know what? You got that call your shot, trophy, whatever, because they won that battle royal a long time ago. Him and Heath Slater. So maybe that could have something to do with it. I don't know. It's very interesting.
I think factions are more interesting when you have a real tag team. So I'm wondering what direction they're going to go. I think it makes more sense to keep Heath by himself, or have Rhino turn back against Violent by Design.
Yeah, because I kind of feeling maybe he could be only joining Violent by Design to get inside the group and try to beat him down that way.
The group a little bit,
infiltrate the group, kind of like what MJF has been trying to do. And hey, have this group go over to AEW. Have them go attack them. Yeah. That would be. I would love to see that.
Well, and I think,
but people will make a joke of it. People make a joke like, "Oh, why are these guys here?" How people shit on Impact a lot. But that wouldn't be a bad idea.
Yeah, I think that would be a good idea. I think another option that they have is have Jake something join Violent by Design. Now you got a real tag team in Violent by Design, and you didn't have because it's one of those things where Violent by Design breaks you down and eventually they take you. So have like have Rhino break away. As Rhino's breaking away, you can have Jake something join. And then it makes more sense because Rhino, it makes sense on the surface because they kind of just break you down until you join. So why not have Jake something? It take a little bit longer for him to break down and join. And then you got the Deaners back, but you kind of got a darker version of the Deaners, a heel version of the Deaners, a more violent, more aggressive, more vicious version of the Deaners. And now you can add another, like you got Slater and Heath as a tag team. That's another tag team you can add to your list. And then you got the Deaners coming out of Violent by Design as a tag team. Then Doran.
Did he say Slayers and Heath?
I think Slater and Rhino, you know what I'm saying? You got them as a tag team. Yes, I did, but you got them as a tag team.
Yeah, Slater and Heath, that's a great tag team. I love them.
I mean, Ethan Page did fight himself.
That's true. That's he got his heart taken down. Oh man, that was bad. That was bad. But no, I thought this, watching this turn, I liked it. It was just like a big 180 here, which I like the surprise factor that with wrestling, because sometimes like yeah, this is like really predictable and stuff, but no, I liked it here though. It was good.
Well, I think this show had its fair share of surprises, and maybe that's what made it that much better. Was there were some surprises sprinkled in that I wasn't expecting. I don't know if you were expecting them, but I wasn't. But then there was Eddie Edwards versus Brian Myers in a hold harmless match, which was basically what
no hold bar, no DQ. Like
they got so many names.
It's crazy. Like all these, wrestling companies, they have different names for like no holds barred, extreme rules, or like a 3-way dance, or whatever. I know that they're not dancing. They're not dancing 3 ways.
Can I have a gripe here? Like, and I probably sound like Jim Cornette at this point, but like, and who would have thought we ever would have said that on this podcast? But like, can we just have a wrestling show for once? This is one of my gripes about this show. I'm cool with like Impact has hardcore matches all the time. Every show. They don't need to be every show. I don't know what, like, and maybe it's always been a thing that Impact has done and I've just been missing it. But like every show, and Eddie Edwards is probably involved.
Speaking of Eddie Edwards, he is so generic. Like he's like the so generic indie wrestler or something. Like I liked him better when he was a part of the Wolves because
I mean I like the character. There's no reason for it. Like at first it was like he was unhinged. Like okay, cool, but then once he turned face, you can't be unhinged anymore. Like it doesn't make sense. Like it doesn't. Like, and they're trying to keep him as like a tweener almost at times, but no, it's not working.
And his attire, like, I understand he's, Boston, Massachusetts and stuff, green, the Celtics. Speaking, you need to take off those colors. Celtics, no. Just no. Okay? Can I have the please no box? Because those pants also look really ugly on you. We should start calling them green pants.
Coming from a Bulls fans, ladies and gentlemen. Coming from a Bulls fan.
Yes. But no, back to what you were saying.
I mean, I just I like Eddie, I do, but like, nah, bro. It's not working. Like, and like, I don't know. I would have just rather have seen this as a good, like just a normal match. I don't think we're at the point with this rivalry, and maybe we are. Maybe I haven't been watching enough to really realize it. But I just don't think we're at the point of like it used to be that like the hardcore matches were either one a grudge match where like it was needed, or two, it was still needed, but it was like to end a feud. It was the blow off type match. But like I don't understand it here. Doesn't mean it wasn't a good match. It was a good match. But why? Why do we need this match? Why do we need this type of match? And And like, I mean, I would say like, give me a cage match or something like that. You know, you can't run or something. But like, then I'm going back into the same thing. We're going back into that's the one thing I like about Impact. But besides the hardcore matches, of course, that are good. I'm not discrediting the matches. But besides the hardcore matches, like Impact does a pretty good job of making things feel special, making their specialty matches feel special. When it comes down to like Ultimate X, you don't see it as much, but when you do, you're like, okay, cool. I got to watch this show. Same thing, even with the steel cage matches. I don't think you see it. I don't know when the last time they did a steel cage match was. I want to say it was Callahan Cage, which was like 2 years ago, but I could be wrong.
So,
but like that's what I'm saying. Right. Like I'm cool. Like I can't, like I can't get too mad at Impact because they do a good job with every other match. But it's like the no DQ matches for some reason are just like every show. Every show, there's got to be some sort of hardcore, Full Metal Mayhem, insert city name here, street fight, insert city name here, backlot brawl. Like there's got to be something.
Always with Impact. I mean, they're the little brother to ECW kind, like. I thought the match was good. Like I feel like during these hardcore matches, I feel like they always bring out the same weapons. Bringing out a cookie sheet. Like why you always have to bring out cookie sheets and like trash can lids and all that? Like, I mean. Can't you bring out a ladder? Do something. Like, I mean, those are kind of smaller gripes about this match. But I do like that spot that Eddie Edwards did, like through the table. The backpack stunner. He put Brian Myers through the table. Which also, okay, so the lead up to this match, I really liked, kind of like this promo. Like when it showed Brian Myers and Scott D'Amore kind of talking. And saying, yeah, so me and him are having he said that he's going to have a submission match. He thought it was going to be a submission match. He was like, have your lawyer read over what a hold harmless match is. So I thought that was funny. And also they were kind of making a joke about the whole eye versus eye for an eye match. I thought that was funny. Like, no, we're not going to have a stupid eye for an eye match. So I thought that was funny. And also we saw Hernandez and Matt Cardona get involved in the match. So I feel like this feud we're going to get something between Brian Myers and Matt Cardona. I mean, I feel like that's going to happen at the next pay-per-view, which is Rebellion, which is going to be, I think it's on April 24th. But yeah, I just think it's very interesting, like what they got going on here. Which I love this whole character with Brian Myers being the most professional wrestler. Like I love that whole gimmick with him.
And then I love how certain things will happen, and he'll be like, "That's not professional."
Yes, I love it. But like I said about some of those weapons that they brought into this match, like cookie sheets and I feel like every hardcore match in Impact now, we always see some cookie sheets brought out. We also see steel chairs brought out, which I like that suplex onto the steel chairs. That was nice during the match. There was an error spotlight during the match. I can't remember exactly what it was, but oh man, I told about the backpack stunner. That was a nice spot.
Yeah, that was good.
Oh, there was a move on the steel steps. That was nice. Where
you talking about where he tripped his leg?
Yeah, that
was good. And then I don't know if you talked about the spot on where Myers was under the ring and he pulled him into the apron.
Oh, that was cool. Nice. Yeah, that was nice. That was kind of different. I thought he was just going to try to run away for a minute there, but instead he pulled him into the ring apron. He pulled him into the apron, which. That was really smart. And even the commentary team was like, oh, we never seen anything like that before. Like something different, something unique. So, which I like how the commentary team was doing that. But no, it was a good match, though. It was good.
Definitely. Impact Knockouts tag team titles. Fire and Flavor versus Jordan Grace and Jazz. Another match which I thought was excellent. I personally, just personal opinion, personal preference, in terms of female, and they don't even have but like 3, but like, and maybe, and let me just focus on the champions. I think more than anything, instead of the roster, of course, because of course, Impact doesn't have as many knockouts tag teams yet. But in terms of like the champions, I think Fire and Flavor are the best out of all of the women's tag team champions. They're way better than Shotzi and Ember Moon. I mean, I think that even if you go back to Dakota Kai and Raquel Gonzalez for the half a night they held the titles, I'd say they have a little bit more chemistry than they do. They have way more chemistry than Shotzi and Ember. No offense to Shotzi.
They're better than my whole.
They're better than them because like that. Like, I mean, I know like the chemistry's there now and all of that, like because they've been teaming for a while, but like that was random. So it's like, and just like it was the bar situation where they kind of like were against each other, and then hey, we're gonna be a tag team, and then they have the tag titles. Like, I just think Fire and Flavor have a good chemistry together. They act like they'd actually be friends. They probably are, but like they act like they'd actually be friends. They come off like they'd actually be, that they would work well together. That they'd have a chemistry. And the tag team moves in this match I thought were good. I really enjoyed it. The little heel tactics that Tasha and Kiera do, I think were good. And like this was another one of those matches where like timing and like timing and like the effort put into the match made it look really good from all 4 women involved, and the referee too. Like it just like there was things where people were caught up in the corner and the breakups and stuff like that. They just were excellently done. They were perfectly done in this match. The only one I had a little bit of a gripe with, but they did a good job on the replay of showing another angle, was Jordan Grace hit some sort of move and was going to pin her near the corner, I think it was Kiera near the corner, and she looked up and saw Tasha. It looked like from what I saw.
Yeah, because Tasha, she did like a splash on top of her.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yep. Yeah, and that was the only one that felt like not that the timing was off, but more so like Jordan saw her. So why would Jordan let her dive on her? It looked like she saw her. Maybe she didn't look up at all. Maybe she was just like, trying to get the pin. You know how they like nod their head when they're going for the pin or whatever. But maybe it was that. Maybe it was that. But I mean, I thought this match was excellent. I like Jazz and Jordan as a team. I think it gives Jordan Grace something else to do. I would like to see her as a dominant heel, Jordan. I really would. And I like, once again, playing off the commentary team, I like the commentary team mentioning, Jordan's youth a little bit and saying that, Jazz is helping her out in certain ways. I like that. Like that's perfect. Like that's excellent analysis of what you're doing, because it's like it makes sense. Like even if it's not true, it makes sense. Like Jazz has been in wrestling for however long, right? Like at least 20 years. So it makes sense that she would import some wisdom on Jordan Grace. I hope we get a Jordan Grace heel turn and she gets to feud with Jazz for a month or two. I think that will be. I
mean, we did see them have a match at, was it Genesis, which they put on. That was a good match.
Mm-hmm.
That was a pretty good.
But
match.
I want to see like heel dominant Jordan Grace. That almost like that could possibly. I don't know if it will, but eventually, let's say eventually, bring her back to the Knockouts Championship, because I think Jordan Grace is worthy of a good Knockouts title run. But I think she'll be better as a heel. She's freaking huge, like. And not in a bad way, or not that that's a bad thing anyway. But I'm saying, like, she's freaking huge, like she's jacked, like her as a heel would be awesome.
She's Mama Punk. She's how she did the whole thing with Scott Steiner a while back, and she has a siren in there, and stuff.
Yeah,
in her theme song.
I just think I think it works. Like I think her as a heel would be way better than her as a face. I like her as a face. She's not bad as a face. She's not over the top as a face. I think she could do much more, much better work as a heel. And I wanted to make this point but I can't. I think I was going to make it the main event, so I'll wait on it. But what was your thoughts on the tag team title match? Of course, Kiera and Tasha retained, as they should.
Yes, yeah, this match was good. I really like the chemistry, like you said, the chemistry between Kiera and Tasha still is like this tag team is like so over. I love them so much, and how at the beginning of the match where Tasha Steelz, she was kind of looked like she was injured, but how she reeled in Jordan Grace and hit that knee to the face. That was nice during the match. How they were kind of breaking apart the ring and stuff, doing like what Dominic's heel do and stuff. How they kept him in that corner. I thought that was good. And of course, we had a hot tags in this match where Jordan Grace, the power of Jordan Grace, she would come in and clean house against Tasha and Kiera. But no, all four of these women worked really well together. And I wonder what they're, I would love before this, I really wasn't thinking about having, Jordan Grace turn heel, but I would love to see that though. Now that you brought that up, I would love to see Jordan Grace turn heel on Jazz. Go like, we can't win the tag team titles. We just can't win these matches. I mean, they're winning other matches, but they can't. They're like, we can't win the big one.
Well, because it doesn't make sense for Jazz to turn heel because she's probably not going to be there, but for so long. So have Jordan turn heel and make a run out of it.
Make it a little mini feud. I think that'd be a great idea. But then again, it's who goes after these knockouts tag team titles next? Because we don't have really many tag teams over here. I mean, except for Havoc and the Veil, which who knows what they're doing, trying to break them up.
Yeah, and you lost Taya, so you don't have Taya and Rosemary. That's why I was saying maybe Rosemary and Su Yung.
Mm-hmm. And but you do have Deanna, or not Deanna?
Yeah. I mean, you got Deanna and Kimberly. You got that.
Or you got Kimberly and Susie.
Yeah, I think it would be cool to see. I wouldn't be surprised if they did a Susan, kind of embrace the monster type storyline with Rosemary, and that's how they end up tagging in some way. I wouldn't be surprised if they went that route.
Which I kind of want to see, some of these teams that were in the whole women's tournament. I want to see some of these teams come back, like the Sea Stars. What's her name? Renee Michael or something. I can't remember her name. Was that
Renee Maverick? I don't think that's. I mean, that's not her ring name. Renee Michelle.
Renee Michelle. Yeah, I like to see her. Damn, but I can't remember who her partner is.
Wouldn't we all?
Killer Kelly.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think that's her partner, Killer Kelly. I like to see her back. So bring some other teams in. That actually makes sense. Just don't pair some random teams together, like Tennille Dashwood and Eddie Edwards' wife.
Right. Right. I mean, and maybe that's a perfect shout out to Eddie for taking shots at Justin here, but I think that would be good for Alicia because Alicia is lost in the sauce. And not there's nothing for her to do. Put her in a tag team, and maybe that'll help her. Maybe that'll give her more of something, maybe more of a character. Because right now she's just Eddie Edwards' wife, and that's not.
And she's the whole poker thing backstage with not Johnny Bravo. Yeah, Johnny Bravo was back there. Who what they could do?
And I wouldn't be surprised if they did it. Why don't they do Tennille Dashwood and Caleb with the K?
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, we did see ODB and EY win those knockouts titles.
I think Tennille and Caleb with the K will be better than that.
True.
I think it would be even better. I think it would be hilarious. Because EY and ODB was good. Don't get me wrong, but I think it could be better. But any more thoughts on that tag team title match?
Nope.
All right, X Division Championship. TJP and Ace Austin bruh. Now this was not better than Josh Alexander. Was it Josh Alexander and TJP, or was it the match before I said
It was
match
Josh Alexander, TJP.
This was not better than Josh Alexander and TJP. Maybe because it surprised me, and maybe because I had expectations for this match. But this match was really good. It's a close second because Ace Austin is absolutely ridiculous. TJP is absolutely ridiculous. Like the talent between those two is unparamount. They are two of the best in the world. Period. I love them both. They're both just very smooth in the ring. TJP is like the smoothest wrestler I may have ever watched in my life. His transitions are awesome. And then Ace Austin comes in here and he's like, hold my beer. Because you watch Ace Austin and you feel the same way. Like you're like, this guy's freaking awesome. And as a heel, he's ridiculous. He's ridiculous. As a heel, like his promo skills, and I please reinvigorate the feud between him and Trey Miguel. Please. It needs to happen. That was a great underrated feud. And don't involve Trey's mom this time. Just let it be a real who's better than who type thing. Please. This needs to happen.
And there's so many great, wrestlers in this X division. Like you have Chris Bay over here, TJP, Rohit Raju, which Rohit, he's so hilarious. How do you see Rohit as a champion again eventually? Ace Austin, Trey Miguel. Like this X division is pretty good right now.
Yeah. Eddie, got to. But anyway, but I feel like, man, there is a lot of talent in the X division, and even Josh Alexander, adding him in, he's way better than I ever thought he would be, because I always thought he was a tag team guy. So I fooled myself. But like he's way better than I ever thought he would be. And like I think just the promos that Ace Austin is going to cut as X Division champion is going to be great. He had a pretty long X Division championship run before. I don't think it's going to go that long this time, but they do a pretty good job of keeping titles on people for a long time. The perks of having not as many pay-per-views, but now they've gotten back to pretty much 12 a year if we count the specials and the pay-per-views together, which I think needs to go down a little bit, just a little bit. Because I think like that's what I liked about I didn't like the fact that there was only like 4, but I mean, give me 6, maybe 8 at the most. I don't think you need 12. I think 12 is just too much. 12 is almost like overkill. And I mean, I know it's what we're used to, but like, be that different that we want it to be. The crazy part is, and people are so like, and they always have been for 20 plus years on Impact, just on Impact all the time, and how they're not good and all this. But the funny part is, you put Impact in AEW's arena, and people will be like, "This is an awesome show."
True.
What?
Yeah.
So like, I want them to like find a bigger arena. I don't care if you fill it out. Just find a bigger arena and just remember that people for some reason really care about production quality. They really do.
That's true. I mean, yeah, like you said, people just love to crap on, Impact, say, oh, they're going to go dead. People are, leaving the company and stuff. Like, how they just, lost Ethan Page. How they lost Ty Valkyrie, like, I mean, every few years you're like, yeah, TNA's going dead. This is the year that they're going to die. But no, they've been really solid. Like, I feel like if they get a bigger network, I mean, not that Access TV is, a bad network to be on. I mean, it is better than some of these, other networks that they have been on in the past, like Pop TV, what else? Destination America, some of these little channels that I have never heard of.
Well, and 2, don't be afraid to take a chance. Like, talk like, there's networks and there's streaming services that don't have wrestling, and now Peacock has it. So, like, yeah, keep your access deal. Keep your access deal, but talk to Netflix and be like, would you like live wrestling?
Or talk to Hulu.
It doesn't have to be Tuesdays. It can be Wednesday. It could be Thursday. Just a completely Hulu's another one that like I would, because like, and we've talked about this before. I would go to Netflix and be like, Hulu has live sports, Peacock has live sports. Where's your live sports? Like how are you competing with them? I get it. You're the top of the top in movies and TV, but where's your live sports at?
Actually,
Like,
I think Hulu does have live sports, or
yeah, they run the commercials. I know they have live sports for a fact. But that's what I'm saying. Like Hulu has it, Peacock has it, Netflix. You're behind now in that regard.
Yeah.
And then you my thing is this: you run Impact from 8 to 10 on Thursdays, then or even Tuesdays, whatever. You run Impact during that time slot, and then the NBA's like, hey, we got some games that are only like League Pass exclusives. You guys want to pay for those? Like, then you're like opening yourself up for other things that like these other guys have. You know, Peacock has they have live. I know they have live channels. I'm not sure about live sports right off the top of my head, but I know Hulu does for a fact. They promote it like it's going out of style.
True. They promote like it's the WWE network. You know how when say $9.99, it's free for this month. Like how Michael Cole was promoting that, which hopefully we don't hear like go subscribe to Peacock, which he's probably gonna go out. He's probably gonna be promoting that out the ass. She doesn't still run the company.
I don't know what she's doing now though. I don't know if she's like I don't even think she's really involved or like if she's.
She tweeted something like she was like, "Oh, I would love to see this like with this whole like Kenny Omega and like either Moose versus Kenny Omega or Moose versus Rich Swann." So she did tweet something about that. But I'm not really exactly.
She works for Anthem. I just don't think she's like she has an on-screen role or like does anything with like wrestling operations. I think she's still like. I mean. To a certain degree, like I think it helps, but then again, what has Impact done since besides change names 100 times since she's left? Like what has Impact done to like galvanize anybody back into it?
I mean, at least she has a brought back. I mean, at least Hulk Hogan isn't there right now.
But I mean, it's interesting. Because I am curious to see what I now I kind of want to look it up and see what she's doing. But like her Twitter handle is still TNA Dixie, so I think she still supports the company. And she probably still has some sort of share in it. She probably just doesn't do like she doesn't do anything with like operations and hiring and any of that, which I think and I could agree with you now. I think is a good thing because it wasn't really her thing, but I mean. I'm not gonna say she didn't love the company when she was in it. Like I think she made some rookie mistakes. I'll give her that because she's never been in wrestling before. Ted Turner did the same thing. That's what happened to WCW. So. But I mean, I don't know. Like I put them in a bigger arena. Just put them in a bigger arena. Up your production quality because I've heard it from people myself that they're just like. Is that Impact? Is that TNA? What the heck is that? And that's off of the production quality alone. So it's a crucial thing, but nonetheless.
What match were we talking about? Oh yeah, Ace Austin and TJP. Yeah, this was a good match. Like the chemistry between both guys, really back and forth match between them. A whole bunch of reversals. Like it was technical, high flying. There was this one spot that it was not TJP. It was about to say Rohit Raju. Ace Austin, he did this like cool enziguri, like the springboard kick off the. Yeah, he did the springboard kick. That was pretty cool during the match. Which I really wasn't expecting a title change here. I really wasn't expecting that when Ace Austin hit the fold to get to 1, 2, 3. Like what? But I'm happy they do have him as champion now, and I feel like he's gonna put on some like great matches. I mean, even he works great as a heel also. Um, he, with putting on great matches, he doesn't have to have Madman Fulton involved in every single match, which is good. Not every heel, does that, well. But Ace Austin, he does that fine. He doesn't have to have interference in every single match.
Yeah.
But no, this was a good match here. I really enjoyed it.
And I like that I like his finisher move, the fold. The fold is like the Canadian Destroyer if everybody didn't use it. Mm-hmm. That's how I feel about that as a finisher. I like it.
Yeah, and also I wish he still brought the card and kind of like sliced his opponent's finger.
Yeah. I know
not the thingies.
He still uses the card. I just don't think he uses it in that way. Right.
I mean,
I saw him pull out the card.
Yeah.
Like I saw he before he did the fold, he had the card. He still has it. I guess he just doesn't slice the thingies anymore.
Slice the thingies. No, but it was a good match. It's surprising that he did win the title, which, like I said, I like surprising all of these Impact Plus specials because it feels like, sometimes they feel like glorified Impacts. And before, last year when they first brought him back, I'm like, well, there's not going to be much not substance. There's not going to be much, stuff that goes into these shows here. There's going to be like, hey, we're going to put the show on here. But they actually been doing some pretty good things on here, actually building up feuds, having title changes. Like, hey, if you want to watch this, go subscribe to the, Impact Plus. I mean, and it's pretty worth it. It's only, it's less than the network. It's like $8 or $7 or something like that. But no, I've been enjoying it though. It's good though.
All right. Moving on to I think we got the Knockouts Championship match with Deonna Purrazzo and ODB. Another match I thought was good. I thought the flow was good. I like ODB, and I think they've definitely done some good things with Deonna Purrazzo. I think she's obviously the top woman in the company. And they do. I feel like between her and Tessa, they did some very good stuff with both of them. Like they really make their heel champions, especially in the Knockouts division, feel like they could go with anybody, and I like that. I think that's great. ODB is awesome as usual. I think she does some great stuff. Yes, ODB is still. She just came back like a month ago, maybe. I think.
Yeah, she came back like a month ago. Yeah.
Yeah, ODB is awesome. And it was cool to see her in a title match again. I like her a lot, and I think her and Deonna did. It felt like they did good work. Of course, ODB did her normal stuff, but like I like ODB's always been unique to me in the way she she has her own she has her own style and her own unique covers, her own unique moves, and I think that's good. Like that's a good part about ODB. But Deonna retained as she should. Almost makes me wonder who's going to take the title off of her when they do, because she had lost it to Su Yung, and I think because remember she was supposed to lose it to who was she? She was supposed to lose it to Kylie Ray before she had everything,
Which I would love to see. I would love to see Kylie Ray come back to wrestling.
Yeah, I don't know if she will. I agree, Eddie. I think she's. There's something about like the realism of it, and we make the comparison to like movies and stuff like that all the time. And I used to hate the soap opera thing, and it grew on me a little bit more. But I kind of equated a little more to movies now, like an action film almost. It has to be a level of believability, and I think ODB feels like she lives her character, and I think that's important is for her to live her character. I think, I like it. I thought it was great, but Justin, what was your thoughts on the Knockouts title match?
I thought the match was good. I mean, the two different contracting of styles here. You know, you had the more technical side of Deonna Purrazzo. You know, she can lock in, different holds. You know, at any given time. And then you had more of the brawling style of ODB. You know, like she didn't care how she got the job done. You know, the stuff wasn't going to be pretty. You know, some of her moves wouldn't turn out pretty, but I mean, she was just one of those like brawlers, which I kind of enjoy that about her. And watching her do like the Dirty Dozen and stuff, that's one of my favorite moves she does, the Dirty Dozen. But I'm happy that Deonna Purrazzo retained because I mean, ODB doesn't need the title and stuff, and I just feel like they were just kind of having like a placeholder until, having her in this match until Mountain Dew Zero. I never drank that, but
it's that watermelon kind.
That watermelon kind. I'm gonna definitely
try. Eddie asked me what I was drinking. Yeah, it was not high C. It's that watermelon Mountain Dew that I don't really even like, but I gotta get rid of them.
But no, the match was good, and I wonder who Deonna Purrazzo is going to be facing at the next show. Which, the next show is Rebellion. That's the next time they're on actual pay-per-view. But no, it was a good match show. Both women worked really well together.
All right, jumping into the Impact World Tag Team Title match. The Good Brothers versus Finjuice, another surprising one, but the commentators I think did a good job of like talking about the arrogance. That was the whole like story of this kind of feud, this match. The build up to this match was the arrogance and how even in the video package, how they almost lost the match. You know, the Good Brothers talking about Finjuice got mad at them because they almost lost the 8-man. I think it was 8-man.
It was an 8-man tag team match, yeah.
Yeah, they almost lost that 8-man tag team match because the Good Brothers are just being arrogant and, being kind of the arrogant, cocky champions. But I think, they played on that so much in this match. That was kind of like the whole, gist of it was, there's the Good Brothers are arrogant. They've been there before. They've done it before, Then on the other side, you got the kids, the young.
Finjuice, calling what's the word I'm trying to say? Calling them young boys, like, hey, they should be carrying our bags into the arena still like they were, in New Japan.
Right. And I mean, I think, and this one's one I kind of have a gripe with, kind of an issue with. On one hand, like I think it was cool. I was surprised, like it shocked me that they actually, had them win the titles, especially at the first pay-per-view they were on. I mean, they hadn't came to Impact, but 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that. And they built this whole, feud on kind of the back of the, one's the veterans and they're cocky, and then the young boys who work, just work rate young boys type style like that. But I'm almost like, I don't know how to feel, because on one hand, I think it's cool. It's a good surprise. I think, it's welcomed. But on the other hand, Impact has to stop acting like they're the lower level of everybody else. Because number one, and we talked about it with the AEW commercials, they're bearing you every chance they get on commercial. They never promote your show. They never promote the fact that it's always, oh, AEW's coming to Impact. It's never, Impact's coming to AEW this week. Nope, never that. Never. And they may have said that when the Good Brothers showed up in AEW that one time.
Yeah, they did. And they still been, showing up to, I feel like, taking the titles off of the Good Brothers, I feel like they're going to go to do more stuff with AEW now.
Mm-hmm.
But then, I don't know really what they're going to be doing. But, since these shows are taped so far in advance, because, I've been watching New Japan stuff, in which David Finlay and Juice Robinson, they're over back in Japan again, which are like, how did they get over to America that quick? How did they get over back to Japan that quick? Like, what? Like, how is this? How is this possible? But no, I forget these shows are taped in advance.
I just, It just seems like Impact's always burying themselves, and I'll never understand it because we all know Kitty's gonna face Rich Swann and next month, and he's gonna win because you got to put AEW over, like you have to, and it just this is, I mean, and I get it, this is not technically AEW, but Impact putting somebody else over again. And I get it, it's a selfless business, I understand that, but like you can't always put everybody over yourself though. Like, and this is another chance where they did that, and I don't like, I like the surprise, but at the same time I'm sitting here like, why?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why? Like, you can have a good match and prove that FinJuice is a really good team without having them win the titles. I'm fine with them winning the title sometime down the road, but like, I feel like you're burying your own talent again by doing this. Same thing with the thing coming up with Swann and Omega. Like, I hope Swann wins, but there's just something telling me that they're going to put AEW over, because AEW, since they started the whole agreement that they've been working together, AEW has went over in every way, every time, except for, of course, Private Party didn't win the tag. I think they went for the tag titles, right? They didn't win the tag titles, but like when it comes to the world championship and it's title for title, I just now I wonder, and I don't know what this means. Like, and that's why I'm confused. And I don't want to get too far ahead of myself. But since we're here, there's no need to going back. I don't know what it's gonna mean in terms of if Kenny wins and he wins the Unified Impact Championships. Does that unify that with the AEW title? Can he defend them both separately? Like, because with, and kind of getting into the main event, with Moose losing against Rich Swann, which was another surprise. It's a welcome surprise. I'm good with that one. But with Moose losing to Rich Swann and Rich Swann now having the Unified Impact, or the Impact TNA, I don't know what they're calling.
I feel like Rich Swann, he's not going to be carrying around the white strap much anymore. I feel like they're just going to, or maybe they might make a new title.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know what they're going to do, but it makes me wonder.
I kind of have a feeling they're kind of, trying to do what New Japan is doing, kind of get rid of like two titles, just to bring them into one.
But when I also feel like when Kenny wins this match, because he's going to, because that's what they're going to do. Because Impact sees it more beneficial to work with AEW than AEW does with Impact. And it shows. When this happens, when Kenny wins and he's got the Unified Impact title and he's got the AEW title, I think it'll probably be Moose that takes it off of him.
Yeah, because
my question is, can Moose take the Impact title back without taking the AEW title? I'm cool if he takes them both, but I just don't see that happening. Is he going to be able to defend them both separately or not?
Mm-hmm.
That's where my questions lie.
But okay, so back about to the tag team match. I thought the match was good, with FinJuice and the Good Brothers. Yeah, and the surprise element here, like I was surprised. I wasn't expecting title changes, this quick here, because they haven't really been on much. They only a few episodes of Impact, and I'm like, what? They're champions now. What? Like, that's what I kind of like now that they're doing. Having title changes on these smaller Impact specials. So that's I like the surprise element, because like I said, in wrestling these days, you go like everything is like predictable, especially in WWE.
Yeah, I'll give them that. They did surprise me tonight.
But then again, like it didn't start coming to my mind until you were saying about how Impact are kind of burying themselves a little bit, putting the title on people from different companies, from New Japan, not have them in the same company. Like it, I mean, who knows? Maybe they did sign with maybe they are signed with Impact now. I don't know, but I mean they are still working with New Japan. But yeah, I definitely do see that, especially, we do see that with the commercials that AEW does, each week going, yeah, we're not, we're giving you all this money here, but we don't really care about you guys over here. We're just doing it to benefit us, which, it's more that Impact sees AEW, sees AEW as, a benefit, but AEW doesn't really see Impact as a benefit.
And I think too, like even when you look at Don Callis, who works for Impact, of course, he's like all over AEW trying to get, trying to get Kenny to collect the Impact titles and stuff like that. Like, I don't know, it's just weird. Like I just don't understand why Impact can continuously buries themselves. Like why? And this was another indication of that. I'm glad that we got the surprise. I think it was a welcome surprise, but at the same time, it just like it just doesn't make sense. I don't think, not yet. It just doesn't. No. But I mean, and it could be like, oh, it's a fluke and they win it back very, very soon. But how often does that happen? Like, how often does that actually happen?
Right.
Oh, but let's jump into the main event and our thoughts on the main event. Moose versus Rich Swann. Like I said, the ending was surprising because I was expecting Moose to come in and win this match. But it was also like weird because Moose. I'm trying to figure out if it made any sense logically. Like, I know it's wrestling logic, so it can't always make sense. But like, you're telling me Moose was focused, didn't say anything, didn't pose, just came to the ring, tried to handle business, and go home with both titles. And he lost? Mm-hmm. You've been building him up for how long? You've been doing this embrace your inner monster, control your own narrative thing since the EC3 thing middle last year, latest last year. And then he went on kind of this, almost like this run of dominance in a way. For a little bit, it was like a run of fraud, but then it became a run of dominance. And then at the peak / end of the run of dominance, you have Rich Swann beat him. It just didn't. Like, I was happy about the surprise of it because I wasn't expecting Rich Swann to win, and I'm fine with Rich Swann as champion. But, and I don't know if they're like hoping that Rich Swann and Kenny will be a better match. I think it would definitely be a good match. But like, I don't know, and that also is why it pushes me to believe that they'll have Kenny win the title, because I don't think Swann loses anything by losing the title to Kenny Omega. Moose is practically red hot right now. So if you have him win the title and then lose the title to Kenny Omega,
that would kind of hurt him a little bit.
All of that for that, all of that build up for and it's just, and you can't, and I don't think you can do that. So maybe that's the direction they're going in. I would love I want to see Kenny Omega win the titles because I think that's going to happen. And then have Moose show up to AEW and beat the snot out of Kenny Omega and take the title back. He doesn't have to challenge for the AEW title unless he wants to. But do I really think AEW is going to give the AEW championship to Impact, even just for a little bit, for a little cross promotion? Debatable. I just don't see it. But I mean, have him win it back. Have him beat the crap out of Kenny Omega. It ain't like Kenny got any friends at this point. So have him beat Kenny Omega and win the title back. I don't know. Like, I'm indifferent about it because on one hand, I don't want Impact to put over AEW any more than they already have. But at the same time, I think it'll be a cool moment. I think it'll be cool to see the Impact title on AEW. Like, I think, and I hope that they build it on both shows. Like, because they haven't done that as much. And I could be mistaken. I don't know. Fill me in if I'm wrong, Justin, because of course you watch AEW a little more than I do. But I don't think they built up Private Party and the Good Brothers on AEW. It was only on Impact.
Yeah, it was only on Impact. I mean, they did mention it on commentary. Say, oh yeah, the Private Party is going to be going after the Impact tag team titles.
It just doesn't make sense.
That's about all.
If it just doesn't make sense, because the only real like crossover that's built from show to show was Kenny when he first won the AEW championship, and he went on Impact the next week. Like that's the only real like crossover that was,
which he wasn't really, in the arena and stuff. He was on the bus and stuff, but
yeah,
still.
I'm tired of Impact acting like they're the little brother to AEW. You've been around for 20 freaking years. Act like it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you have way more merit than AEW has, and somebody record that and put that out and mention AEW while you're at it, because you got way more merit than AEW will have for the next 10 years. Like, I get it. AEW is the new hot thing. I completely understand it. But do not, if you're Impact, and whoever the heck is running them at this point, do not continue to bury yourself because the fans want you to. Screw them. Get them out of your face. You're the company. Like, it just no. This is what frustrates me. Like, I don't understand it. I don't get it. I'm excited for it. I am. I'm not saying I'm not excited for it. I'm excited for Rich Swann and Kenny Omega. It's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be a good match. And I think like it really has. It's really to the point where it could go either way. But why? Why keep burying yourself? I don't get it. Why? What's the point? Like what good are you doing yourself? They won't like. It's like an uneven relationship. You're putting in all the work, and they're reaping the benefits of it. Yeah. They're getting a little extra screen time. They're coming to the company with 20 years of merit and saying, "Hey, let me put our champion on your screen." Yeah, do you get kind of? But you're the 20-year-old company that doesn't have as good of a TV deal as you probably should. They're on TNT and they won't promote you. But like maybe Kenny's gonna be on Impact. That's all you get.
Do you think that Tony Khan could buy not AEW, could buy Impact in the future?
Maybe.
Just like for, I don't know.
What is he gonna buy it for talent?
No, I would say talent, maybe for the library.
He can't get it.
But I feel like that's the reason.
AEW, as of right now, where are they going to put the library?
Or, they could use that as like their own library, start putting their stuff on Impact Plus.
Sure.
Or they could like joint it.
Even with Global Force. Global Force is a shell of a company, was a shell of a company, still is a shell of a company, and you still put them over your own talent. Explain! Right. How? Why? You changed your freaking name to Jeep. The Global Force.
Global.
I don't get it. Oh, what's your thoughts on the main event? What's your thoughts on all of this? I guess I am. Yeah. Oh.
Yeah, the match was really good. Like the match wise between these guys was really good. I like how right off the gate, Rich Swann, he tries to have a quick start on him because he has more of the, he's much smaller, he's much more high flying, so he had to be quicker than Moose, and Moose had more of the power on him and stuff. But I like how Rich was kind of targeting Moose's shoulder, like running him to like 3 ring posts. I thought that was pretty cool during the match. Also, DJ is gonna love this. The whole thingies we saw. There was what was it? Moose had in a abdominal stretch on, and I like how Moose had locked on, but then Rich started grabbing the fingers of Moose. I go, not the fingies, like he's doing the fingy stuff there. So I know DJ loved that. And it's crazy the stuff that Moose does in this match. Like, it's crazy how athletic he is. Like, him running up to the top rope and getting that cutter. That was getting cuttered by Rich Swann. That was nice. And there was another spot where he runs up to the top and he hit like a fall away slam moonsault.
Yeah.
That was nice.
People were commenting on, he posted some of it, and they were like, how'd you not win? And I'm like, thank you. Thank you. How?
Which, here's what would have made sense. It would have made sense to bring Kenny Omega out and, kind of help Rich Swann win the match. Because I feel like if Moose would have won the match, because like he could be going like, Kenny Omega can have this thing go like, hey, the reason why, I costed Moose the match is because, I don't think it would say this, because like, I don't think I could beat Moose. Moose is a, big guy. So maybe that's why I think, maybe they'll save Moose and Kenny Omega down the line here. Because it would make sense to have, Moose lose the title right away to Kenny Omega. I just think that would just bury the whole thing. They're like, so what's the point of Moose now, Because, they were building him up like, he was going after the world title.
Yeah.
And then
the only other thing they could have done was waited on this. Had Moose continue to carry around the TNA title and be like, kind of call Kenny Omega out, and, kind of call Kenny Omega out. So they never do the thing where they make the TNA World Title a real title, especially if they're going to unify it a couple weeks later. Anyway, they never make it a real world title. He's still claiming to be the world champion. He's like, Kenny, I'm coming out. I'm the belt collector. I'm coming after you. Kenny's like, Moose, you're not a real champion. I want Rich Swann. And then, Moose somehow loses his match, let's just say. And then they have, because they have to have a world title match on Sacrifice. So let's just say Moose somehow, like you said, Kenny comes in, he interferes, something like that. And then have Kenny and Rich go at it. And then, title for title, have Kenny win, and then have Moose finally win the title that way.
Yeah, see, that's how I see this kind of going. Moose finally went to him kind of not. I think that kind of be a little like turning tweener a little bit. Maybe turning face a little bit because he's going, hey, he stole our title. We're gonna go get. I'm gonna go get it back for us. Kind of doing that a little bit. I think that's the most logical. I feel like that's the direction they're going in this. But yeah, it was a really good match. Both guys worked really well together, which having the whole roll up at the end, which DJ loved those finishes.
It made sense because
it kept Moose strong also.
Yeah, and they're both focused. Like Rich Swann didn't dance at all. I did more dancing during his entrance than he did. So like it makes sense, but and like here, like I'm okay with it because you do want to protect Moose because Moose is red hot. Like Moose is, he's got the highest ceiling right now in terms of like, what you want. You want him as champion. You want him as a real champion, but I guess they're waiting on it.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I think like interference would have made sense.
Yeah,
if you don't have Kenny booked for the show, you didn't pay him for the show or whatever, have the Good Brothers do it. They're connected to Kenny.
Yeah, have the Good Brothers come out and say, I could see, Kenny going like, yeah, he's kind of afraid of Moose because that match that they had, was it back at Hard to Kill, that 6-man tag match? Moose looked great in that match. He freaking that Spanish Fly he did to Kenny Omega in that match. And
Moose is ridiculous. I don't care what anybody says.
He is ridiculous. And I would love to see him go over to AEW, on a bigger stage and stuff. Because I loved him back, Ring of Honor and stuff. I love him here on Impact. To see him go on a bigger stage, even That'd be awesome, and I feel like that's what they're gonna do, and hopefully they keep it going back on both shows, AEW and Impact, because I just don't want one show going over more, like DJ said, because they need to quit. They have more of the experience. They're the company that's been around for 20 years. Been around for 20 years. Like, act like you've been around for 20 years. Don't act like you're the new company that's coming. Even though all the fans go like, why is this company still around and stuff? You guys, they lasted longer than WCW. And people still don't want to give them credit. Yeah, they had some weird decisions, in the past and stuff. But that's every wrestling promotion. Like, I tell you, this past...
If you don't take chances, you'll never succeed.
I mean, this past, year, I said, has been pretty good with Impact, TV-wise and stuff. And like you said earlier, have Impact in the AEW type arena and go like, what? This is Impact? This is a great show.
It's crazy because Impact is one of those shows where I didn't watch at the time. Like, I didn't get to watch Sami Callihan's title run, but I know it was awesome because I went back and watched certain things and bits and pieces of it. And that happens a lot with Impact. Like, I'm like, I don't remember watching at this point in time or watching as much as I normally would or watching consistently, but that was kind of cool.
So, yeah, same with me here, because I remember there's sometimes I take a break from Impact for a few months, and then I want to come back. And DJ knows that. And I told things I didn't like about TNA or Impact. I still like to call them TNA and stuff, but I still things I don't like about it.
Speaking of yourself.
But this is the most I liked Impact for a long time. Like, ever since I said last summer, that's when I really started getting into this. When the WWE was releasing all them guys go like, oh yeah, who's gonna be coming over here? That's what really kicked it off. The whole Slammiversary and the whole Wrestle House was good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but Impact's been pretty good though. Ever since from July to now, it's been not bad.
You're TNA, darn it.
You're TNA still.
The NWA has went through worse than this. Come on. Anyway.
NWA, yeah, and you got.
Come on. They kept their name, darn it. But anyway. Any other final thoughts on Sacrifice or Impact? I felt like we'd have a pretty good discussion on this, and we
it was a good show.
But anyway, definitely hope you guys enjoyed as always. Shout out to Giraffe coming by, of course Eddie coming by as well. Appreciate you guys as always. Be sure, if you haven't already, if you like the video, share it with your friends, with your family, with your girlfriend, with your boyfriend, whoever you're talking to right now. Be like, the Instant Class Wrestling Podcast, you got to watch it. You got to. If you don't like watching us, and it's probably Justin's fault, I'm kidding, but if you don't like watching us,
probably Casey's fault. Watching our views go up. It's Casey's fault.
If you don't like watching us, or if you want to watch it somewhere else, YouTube, you got that. If you don't like watching us, you got Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts on the bottom of the screen as well. If you want to go there, just Google the Instant Class Wrestling Podcast, and you will find us because you find
our beautiful faces, and also we are Googleable.
But as always, definitely hope you guys enjoyed. I kind of, Justin has been talking about it a little bit, and I kind of want to do it if I can get myself to watch Impact every week live or close to live. I kind of want to get back into doing Impact reviews or something, even if it's just a 15-30 minute discussion about Impact in general, what they did for the week or something. But
I kind of want to do all of us together do a weekly wrestling wrap up.
Yeah.
For all the shows and stuff, doing one whole doing a whole bunch of reviews throughout the week, NXT, AEW, Impact. Just doing one thing like that. But we'll talk about that.
Right. But nonetheless, as always, appreciate Justin for coming by. We'll see you guys on the next video, whatever that may be. As always, this was the Instant Classic Wrestling Podcast, the only podcast that is always, and I mean always, an instant classic.